Hey everybody, I'm Jay, and I'm welcoming you to Kingdom Builder TV. I have a very special guest here, Jordan Feliz. Jordan, thanks so much for joining us today.
How you doing, buddy?
We're really excited to have you here, and we're actually here on the beautiful Offerings Tour. We're in the Lakeland, Florida stop. There's only a couple more stops. It's you, Big Daddy Weave, and Plumb.
Yeah.
And you're just about done with the tour, and it's been going on since late January. What's the tour been like for you, touring with these guys?
Man, it's been amazing. It's like, it's not anything like the typical concert experience. I feel like it's just pretty awesome because I feel like that's kind of not what it's about for any of us, you know? And it's really cool to be around people where it's like, this is kind of about building the kingdom every night and be able to like kind of let the Lord kind of use the night, you know what I mean? And so it's kind of cool to feel like every night is church, you know?
Right. Well, you were just talking about it from the stage. You actually just released your full-length album, The River, about almost a month ago. What kind of response are you getting from people?
Man, so far so good. A lot of people really loving it, and man, I'm super thankful and grateful, and just, man, I'm glad that people are loving it.
It's a good record. I really like it. We got it a while back, and
awesome.
Been listening to it for a while now. Of course, The River's kind of stuck in your head because that's the one that they play most on the radio and stuff.
Yeah,
and you've got the second single that's out now.
Yeah.
And I was reading, you got to be careful what you read on the internet because you're not really sure what stuff is true and what stuff's not true. But I actually read something interesting. I wanted to ask you about it.
Yeah.
I heard that you, before you got your start as a solo artist now, that you were actually a singer in a hard rock band.
I was.
Is there any truth to that?
Yep. Completely 100% true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how was that? How did you make that transition from hard rock to I guess, the music you do now, like praise, worship, pop music, stuff like that?
Well, my senior year in high school, I joined pretty much like a metal band, basically. But the music was never like my passion. But the cool thing is that like all of our hearts were kind of set on basically taking Jesus and taking the gospel into a genre that there wasn't a whole lot of Jesus or the gospel. And so it was kind of fun to be able to go up and play at these venues and stuff and talk about the Lord on stage and talk to people that had no idea. I mean, it's crazy that there are still people that don't know about God. Right. And those people still exist all over the world, and it's just crazy. And so we were in that genre of music specifically for that purpose. And so the music was never my passion, but my heart for the ministry behind it was there. And then whenever that basically was over, I took a job at a church in Clovis, California, and I was leading worship at a church. And I started doing that, and about 3 months after I got the job, the Lord just had put Nashville in my heart. And I had a buddy call me and was like, man, if I got you a plane ticket, would you come out here and write some songs? And I was like, yeah, that sounds awesome. And so we did that, and I think it's just kind of been crazy because the Lord has just kind of kept opening doors, and I've just been kind of holding His hand and like walking through them, So now I'm here, and the cool thing is that I've been kind of wanting to write music like this because I grew up listening to kind of like soul pop music, like Earth, Wind and Fire and Tower of Power and Sam Cooke. I grew up listening to that stuff, and so it's been kind of fun for me to kind of find myself in that realm and like write songs that are true.
I can hear that kind of soul in your music on this new record.
Man, thank you. That's
there's another artist that I can kind of compare you to that I absolutely love, Jimmy Needham.
Yes.
And he's got his style is unique, and you can tell right away when you hear him where his musical influences come from. So now, is there like a heavy metal version of The River, like going down?
No, there's not one yet. I would be curious to see somebody try to do it though.
Oh, you never know.
Yeah, you never know.
Well, I love the One Direction cover with David Dunn.
Thank you.
That was.
Thank you, man. Yeah,
my daughter loves One Direction, and when she saw it, she's like, "Wow, somebody did that song actually pretty good." Because she's really hard on the people who cover songs. She's like, "They actually did a good job." I'm like,
"Oh, that's awesome."
I like that song too.
Awesome.
I won't always admit that, but I mean,
yes. That's awesome.
Well, the single For the River is blown up on radio. It's played quite frequently here in the Bay Area on the Joy FM and Spirit FM. When you wrote this song, did you think that the song would resonate like it has with listeners and with radio?
No. Like, not a chance. Honestly, it's kind of funny because I thought that everybody was kind of going to hate the song. Because it's funny because when you're creative and you're an artist, like typically what you usually like, you know, what caters to you, people usually in the general public don't really like it. They don't, you know. And so I wrote the song and I just fell in love with it. And I was kind of scared for my producers to send it off because I was like, man, everybody's going to hate it though, you know.
Dude, it's one of my favorite songs in the last like 5 years. I mean,
thank you, man.
Radio can be so repetitive sometimes, and it's really cool to hear something different.
Thank you. And see, and that was what I wanted. That's what I wanted to do. And when they said they were going to take it to radio, I was a little nervous, but man, it was the first time the Lord really spoke to me to be praying over the song. So man, for like 2 weeks, everywhere I drove, I listened to the song and I just prayed over it. And man, the Lord has just done some amazing things in it. It's been awesome.
It's a great song, and there's no doubt as to why it's as popular as the radio. It's almost like you've taken like pieces of hymns and stuff and kind of made it into your own style. And songs like that is really what we need to hear these days because you know, we got so many problems. We just need to take it to Jesus.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people just fail to realize. It's just the song is so simple that hey, let's just take it down to the river. You know, take it to Christ. And, he's gonna help us with that.
That's awesome.
Well, I often ask artists while they're on the road. Obviously, you don't sit around listening to your album all day.
Yeah.
What kind of music do you listen to? If I look in your playlist, what kind of music would you be playing right now?
Man, I listen to a lot of like One Republic. Heard of them? They're like a general market band. They just put out a new single actually, and I've been listening to that a lot. But I listen to a guy named Alan Stone. There are some songs I don't listen to of his, but he's got some awesome songs too. He's like a soul artist, like, and man, he's incredible. I listen to it. There's a guy named Leon Bridges. I've been listening to the For King country record, the one it's been out for a while, but I've been listening to that. Man, I listen to a lot of music actually. Like if you saw my library, you'd be like, this guy's crazy. Cause like I love writing songs too, and I've been kind of writing some country music. So I listen to some country songs too. And the new Keith Urban record has been on replay for me a little bit. So yeah, man, I kind of just listen to a little bit of everything.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So what's next for you, Jordan? You got any plans to tour this summer? I know that we got 3 more dates left of this tour. What are you doing this summer? And what's your plans for this year?
A bunch of festivals this summer. I'll be playing all over this summer actually. It's kind of crazy. And the tour in the fall, I do have a tour in the fall, but it's not being announced yet. So it'll be announced I think in like 5 or 6 weeks.
Keep an eye on the website.
Yeah, yep, keep an eye out on the website.
Well, man, we really appreciate you joining us today.
Yeah, thank you.
On behalf of Jordan Feliz, so thankful that he joined us today on Kingdom Builder TV. Just want to thank you for tuning in, and just remember to put Christ first in your lives, and everything else will fall in place. God bless you.